Okay, so last Saturday saw the pre-orders for Warriors of Chaos go up. I managed to get online in the feeding frenzy that you have on a Saturday morning at 10 o'clock. I found I didn't buy a lot direct from Games Workshop. The only thing that I got were only the online only stuff that they sell. I got a pack of cards. I know they're quite expensive, but I got those. They are useful if you're new to a faction, and let's face it, we're new to every faction at the moment, to help remind me of items that people have got, spells they've got, stuff like that. So that was the first thing I got, the Warriors of Chaos referenced pack. I didn't get the dice because they're nearly £30 for a pack of dice. If I can get them locally for closer to £20, I tend to get them. If I can't, and it's the full retail at nearly £30, I don't. But obviously, there's enough demand out there for them to sell out online. I got a Shaggoth. I do like the Shaggoth model, and £52 I thought was okay. So I went for him in the end. And I also got, and scrolling down to find them, the Dragon Ogres. I just got the one box in the end. Having read a bit more of the fluff, you can run them as 3 individuals if you want, but I thought, one box for now. I can always go back for more later. So I say that's all I got online. It's not all I got online, because they were the 3 things from the Warriors of Chaos pre-order, but I also had a look through the Age of Sigmar Warriors of Chaos equivalent, Slaves to Darkness or something like that, and I saw the Kagra, I'm going to say Kagra's Ravagers, a set of 4 minis for £26. What attracted me basically to this box is I can put these on Warriors of Chaos bases, and these will be my heroes. So this one will be a wizard. Obviously, I think it is a wizard, if we can find the photo for that one alone. Yep. So that's a wizard, or will be a wizard, in the Warriors of Chaos army. And then the other 3 I can use as exalted heroes, or Chaos Lords, that kind of stuff. I'll probably use them to beef up units. I might come back to these later, because in the battalion box, which I have got from another source that I'll talk about in a bit, there are 2 chariots, and I'm unsure how to build them, and I thought these characters could go on the chariots and beef the chariots up, and also beef the heroes up, make them a bit more sustainable. Now, if you're watching this from a competitive point of view, you will be disappointed in what I'm saying. I tend to build stuff with a story in my head rather than what's the best ultimate, and boil the faction down to the most efficient points-wise, killy-wise, which is probably why the channel's called Wargaming for Fun and not Wargaming to Win. That was the 4 things that I've pre-ordered. Hopefully they'll come through next week and not in 6 months' time. So that's what I got direct from Games Workshop. The other things that I got were from my friendly local gaming store. I ordered from Phil over at Mighty Melee Games. I got the Warriors of Chaos box. I got the Sorcerer Lord, because I do love that model. I got the Warriors of Chaos Lord on Manticore. I know the Warriors, the guy on the dragon is much more effective, but I do like that model. And I think you can build it as the Sorcerer on there as well, so there might be some bits in there for kit bashing. And the other thing I got was the Arcane Journal. Basically, anything that I wanted that I could get from the local gaming store, I did. And then the stuff that was online only, I then went to Games Workshop to get. Once I decided everything I was going to get, I needed to calculate the bases that I needed. I like to have consistent bases, and I found that over my last few armies that I've made for the old world, I've used 3D printed bases, printed on a filament printer. First thing I needed to do was calculate how many bases I needed. So I calculated, if I just go from there, open up my little spreadsheet that I did. So these are the things I bought and where from Mighty Melee. Battalions of warriors, the battalion box for the Warriors of Chaos. In the box it says it comes with 35, even though I can only see 32 of them being used, bases, 30 by 30. It says there's 2 50 by 100s, which I would assume are the chariot bases. However, in the Ravaging Horde books, it says that they are 60 by 100, not 50 by 100. So I've yet to see, until the box arrives, I don't know whether it's a typo or whether the Ravening Hordes book is wrong. I'll find out. But as the Ravening Hordes book seems to say, or does say, doesn't seem to say, it does say, that it's 60 by 100, I'll probably stick with the 60 by 100 ones. And then there's 10 30 by 60s for the Chaos Knights. The one Chaos Sorcerer I've bought is a 30mm square. The Lord on Manticore is a 60 by 100. So that's all the models from Mighty Melee Games. Obviously, I don't need a base for the book. I don't need a base for the reference cards either. The Dragon Ogres, the box of 3, they have 50 by 75s, as does the Dragon Ogre Shaggoth. So they'll all have the same size bases. And the Cars Ravagers, there's 4 models in there, and I'm assuming at most I'll use 4 bases, 1 for each. But like I said earlier, I suspect I may put some of those characters on chariots or magnetize them in some way. I haven't decided whether it be permanent or not, because I'm hoping that they will release chariots later as well. So there's my list, or there's my list, my totals. So in total, 40 30mm squares. That's optional. I'll wait and see till they arrive, because I can always print those 2 overnight. 10 Warriors Chaos Knights. Then I've got the Chariot and the Chaos Sorcerer Lord on the Manticore. And then, not the, oh, it could be the Sorcerer Lord, I haven't decided. Again, I'll have to have a look to see how it comes together. And then finally, the 4 bases for the various Dragon Ogres that are there. For my Warriors, well, not just for my Warriors, but for all my old world bases, I tend to use Mini Wargaming's desert bases that they did. I bought those and the movement trays because it works, and why fix it if it works? Various sand bases. I don't paint them as sand, I paint them as earth and dry brush them after. And if I load up a 30mm one to show you the details as to why I use them, we can see there I have a couple of Ender 3 printers, and you can see that's the texture, which they call it sand, but it works fine in earth. But what I like about them, if I go underneath, you can see that they have a hole for the magnets to go in. So that helps secure them on the trays. So that is the style of base that I use for the infantry. If I go back now and load up the trays, you'll also know, if you've bought the Mini Wargaming ones, that every time they do an update, they send you an email saying, look, we fixed it, you can download the update if you want. So these are the movement trays. So typically these are the 25mm ones, but for the heavy infantry, if you were to have a block of 5x2, let's drag it over, there we go, and place that in. You can see how that fits in the place. Now I tend to put sheet magnetic, it's a ferrous rubber sheet that goes in there. You can get them if you buy your magnets. They tend to sell the sheets as well, and I will show some photos in a later video. But I also like these because I store them in a big tub, one of the really useful boxes. And these trays also underneath have holes for magnets. So it makes the magnetizing and the storage of your armies, if you have more than one army, a lot easier than the old foam cases where you put them in and out. It works. It makes me more efficient when I'm making the troops. I'm not trying to sell them. There are other alternative manufacturers out there. You may even be able to pick them up free on the internet, but I thought it was worth my time to pay for a set that's done. And like I say, they keep doing the updates. That's it. And I've got a little video. Let's find the video. Here we go. So I've got a little video of what they look like in progression. So you can see, I think I was doing 16 at a time for these, for one block. I play the video again. Just a quick video showing the printing of the base is ready for the magnets to go in. Okay, As I brought up the video, we can also see, I might as well talk you through him, a giant that I've refurbed. When I say I've refurbed, rescued from the scrap heap, I mean, you can see, I say you can see, I had got him based for Kings of War ready, and you can see it's a bit, his toes didn't necessarily survive the journey. This guy, somehow, I've ended up with 4 giants over the years. I currently have 2 left. I thought I had 3, but I can find 2. And this was the regular giant that Warhammer sell up until recently. I don't know if they still do, but they did until recently. I've converted one for using with the Orcs and Goblins, and this guy I intend to use for Warriors of Chaos. And you can see, if we go through the photos, so you can see the guy here with his toes. You can see that what I've done in the past at some time is sprayed in black and then done a heavy spray from above with white to give the zenithal, or it is zenithal highlighting, isn't it, from above. And then what I've done is I've gone through my bits box and I've stuck some bits on to make him look more chaosy and less normal. You can see he had this bucket or this barrel on his back. This, I think, is part of a kit that came with the fanatics, the goblin fanatics, and it's smoke coming out of these bulbuses, which I thought might look good on his belt. And I've a clearer view from it there. Hopefully could make him look a bit Nurgle-esque, or a bit, you know, in a bad way, not the purest of beasts. And then for shoulder pads, that is the face of one of the Mangler squigs, one of the alternative faces you get. And that is one of the small guys, a squig. And I've done them like shoulder pads. I intend to paint them like bone. Hopefully it'll work okay. And then I've also, these are the hilts, the bottom part of the swords used by one of the Tyrannid creatures. Might be a Hive Tyrant, a couple of the swords that weren't used. So he's now got his horns, shoulder pads to make him look a bit armoured, because he does have the option of having more armour. Oh, bit of blurred. You can see the damage. He just about fits on the base. You can have 2 size bases for the giant, 50 by 50 or 50 by 75, and I went for the smaller one because there's less chance of flak charges. And I'm hoping I can disguise the toe, or the missing toes, with detritus. I'll probably put some tufts on there so it looks like he's walking through a hedge. Okay, so he'll be making an appearance. He'll be making an appearance in the Warriors of Chaos army as well at some point. And if I add all of the stuff up that I got, it comes to roughly 2,500 points. So it gives me a bit of chopping and changing. Should be fun. It won't be the most effective list, and it will evolve over time. But because I already had the dwarfs, I can keep up with the current release schedule for the old world, and I intend probably to collect every army they do. Having fun with it. Missed it for the 10 years it wasn't here, and currently having fun. Hope you've enjoyed the update, folks. I'll catch you again soon.